Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Apolla's Odyssey. I'm your host, Apolla Asteria, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the pineal gland, its uses, how it functions, how it works, and how it can be used to access other dimensions and receive powerful visions, as long as it's working properly and functioning properly. Which, obviously, as I'm sure most of you know, maybe you don't know this, but a lot of our modern day technologies and just, the modern world has many horrible, drastic effects on the pineal gland. One of these major ones is fluoride that is in the water supply, in our toothpaste, and, obviously our dentists use it. So I'm going to talk about all of that and more tonight on this special episode. Just got back from traveling again. I just spent a weekend in Miami. Don't really rest for long. I definitely do not rest for long. So, so I'm just, still kind of getting back to reality here after my crazy trip in Thailand. And I have a lot to share with you all tonight. I've been doing a lot of reworking on my website actually the last few days here. And sorry, just trying to get this light going here. So basically I just redid my Shaman Spears or my Apolla Asteria website last night. So definitely go check that out. I kind of had some issues with it because I don't know why there's a huge space before you scroll down now. I don't know what I did with that, but just rework some things on my site here. So like I said, make sure you remember to scroll down, but I have an extended bio that I kind of reworked and an events page, which I did a lot of work on about upcoming events. So make sure you check that out. Put a little blog in here. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Also, on my Shaman Spears site, let me pull this up here. Please be sure to check out my art because that is what funds me and keeps me going. I still have a lot left. My latest spear collections, all shaman spears, are handcrafted by yours truly and filled with crystals, magnets, and sand I collect from sacred places around the world. They're all painted with crop circles that have been found around the world. And I trust them all myself onto an energetic collective. And again, they're all made by yours truly. So make sure you go check those out. But besides that, more importantly, I have tickets to the Mount Shasta Summer Conference for this July 7th through 10th. And there's going to be a lot of really awesome people speaking there. Laura Eisenhower, Alex Collier, Robert Potter is running the event, and my homie Brooks Agnew, Ben Chastain, Eric Dadmere, Brad Olson, a lot of good friends of mine, Sam Kiowas. Yeah, there's a lot of really awesome people at this event. So you're definitely going to want to join that. And so I actually have to sell 3 tickets to make my basically that's my payment for speaking at the event. I'll be speaking there and selling my spears there, giving my Solutions for Humanity presentation, and most likely a modified version, a newer version of it. So I'm excited for that. So if you want to join me at this conference in Mount Shasta this summer, which is going to be obviously very amazing. I mean, Mount Shasta is freaking awesome. Please just go purchase the tickets from here. Obviously, if you want to know more about the event, you can go to the actual site and check that out. But I really need to sell these tickets. So it'd be really great if you purchase them off me. I believe I'm selling them for slightly cheaper than they are on the site right now. And yeah, if you get them from me, I will send you a basically just purchasing them. I will receive your email and your name, and I'll give it to the event organizer, and you'll be forwarded an auto reply of your tickets, basically explain that you have the tickets. So it would be really great if you could get those off me. I'd very much appreciate it. I know I talked about on my last show like a week and a half ago, and I said I was going to have it up, and I didn't have it up because I just couldn't figure out how to get it on my site, my main site. I wanted to get it on there, but instead I put it on the my art site. So yeah, all you have to do is click right here to purchase those, and I have 3 of them there. And again, it's going to be really awesome. I mean, you know, besides the speakers there is going to be guided meditations, vibration raising mantras, sound healing, actual videos of many encounters, messages from different ET groups, musical guests, pyramids, Tesla coils, sound light, color laser crystal show vendors. I don't know. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Lake swim time, evening sky watch, and workshops. So I know I'm excited for this event. It was definitely one of the best events of last year. I didn't personally go, but that's what I heard from many different people, and I really regretted that I wasn't there. Because you know, some of these homies up here of mine, I have not seen in a very long time, since before the pandemic, actually, in person anyway. I interview all these people all the time, but I'm really excited to see all these people and meet some people I have not met before, but have seen around. So it should be really fun. I also plan on in the coming months here interviewing a lot of the people that are on this show, or I mean, that are going to be speaking at this event. I would like to bring them onto my channel, so I'm going to be working that out. That will most likely be happening next month mostly, but might get some of them on this month. Um, so also again, please be sure to check out my art. That's what funds me, keeps me going. Besides shaman spears, if you're not interested in spears, which honestly they're pretty cool, you know, I personally always use them to go hiking with. They range from like smaller wand size to really tall staff size. This would be a staff size one right here. This one here. But you know, besides that, they're just really fun to go hiking with and to use as a centerpiece for your room. They make great gifts, and they all come with a scroll that talks about what it means to have one. So again, that's all on shamanspears.com. And I also have a lot of orgonite creations up here, and should have some more up by the end of the week. And of course, I have a few I Believe in Humans t-shirts that promote my show. They have my show logo on the back, and they're really amazing quality shirts. Everyone that buys one is very impressed with them. I had them made by this special company where they actually made, it says on the side 1 of 30 ever made. There's only 30 of them ever made, and then I'll make a new collection after this one sells out. And so, yeah, it's pretty exciting. It says, I believe in humans, and it has my show logo on the back. So, again, this is all up on shamanspears.com. All right. So, ready to get into this today. Oh, before I get into this, Stephen Padilla says, does Apolla have anything for men to purchase? You know, a lot of people think that my spears are not for men for some reason. I guess because my promotional stuff can be a little girly. But here, let me just go ahead and pull these up again, because actually, I believe more men have purchased my spears than women. So, you know, let me see here. I mean, this is definitely a very manly spear, I would say. Definitely a manly spear. Some of them are a little more girly. This is definitely more of a guy spear, I would say. um, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, some people tend to think feathers are girly or something. I don't know why that would be, but I'm just telling you right now, I know of a lot of guys that purchase my spears. Actually, there tends to be more guys and girls purchasing them from my experience. So yeah, they are unisex or for both sexes or whatever gender you prefer. So there you go. Oh, Alien Girl, good to see you on here. I will be going on her show this Sunday, so I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be freaking awesome, and I definitely plan on possibly having her on soon. So pretty cool. And Zune here says the general public is still pretty sleepy. Yeah, that's a great transition into tonight's show. The topic of tonight's show. Obviously I said it's about decalcifying your pineal gland, but it's also, quote, wake the F up, because we need to wake up. And, the general population, like Zune here said, is still unfortunately pretty sleepy. And he says, oh, $8 gas might wake them up faster. That's unfortunate. Zune, I actually filled up my gas tank today all the way up on my Jeep, my alien Jeep, and it was over $100 to fill up my tank because I live in California, so it's even worse here, unfortunately. So yeah, that was pretty sad. I just kept watching it go up and go up and go up, and I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, I don't know if I should like stop this, or next week it might be up more, so maybe I should just keep pumping it. I don't know. And of course, there was actually a Biden sticker that said, I did that. Let's Go Brandon sticker that said, I did that on the pump, but it was like half scraped off. Pretty funny. But okay, so Alien Girl says, pineal gland relates to telepathy, right? The pineal gland has many, many uses. And, I actually came up with this topic because I don't know why. For some reason, last night I was just kind of looking things up. Oh, no, I came across this meme or this sort of article that related pine cones to the pineal gland and how there's a connection between them. And I thought it was really fascinating. So I pulled up this WebMD article, and it was kind of funny because it actually said a lot in the article that I wasn't expecting it to get into. Obviously, there's from the health aspect of things, from the scientific like health aspect of things, not getting into the spiritual side of it. It was interesting to me how much they actually said. And I'm sure a lot of you here are aware of the pineal gland, the third eye. I'm just kind of going over all this information because, someone told me one time that everyone you meet or everything someone tells you, they might actually bring a new perspective that you haven't heard before. So pay attention to it. And I think that's really interesting. I definitely go by that in my life. But so I actually pulled up this WebMD article, just curious to see what it would say. Because it was talking about this circadian rhythm and how the pineal gland actually regulates your circadian rhythm. And I've actually had major issues with that the past couple weeks since getting back from Thailand. Something about going from the east back west, or no, going back east over the ocean from, Thailand to California is really, really difficult. It was very difficult for me to adjust to this time zone. So that's kind of why I pulled it up, and I was actually surprised how much they admitted in the article. But before I pull that up and go over that, I want to show you what some photos here. So this is the pineal gland. I don't know if you can see my arrow, but obviously it's pointing to it in here. And it's really interesting because the Egyptian eye actually perfectly describes what the pineal gland is. So, and this was 3,500 years ago, the Egyptians were drawing the Egyptian eye, the Eye of Horus. And if you look here, it is very much a perfect representation of the pineal gland. So the Egyptians knew a lot about this. And I find it very fascinating. For me, like going through my I guess spiritual development process, obviously one of the first things for most people is finding out about the pineal gland and how it works. So it's just really fascinating. It really is. Um, and so I just want to show you a couple other photos here before we get into this. So this is what I was really fascinated with last night. I've seen a lot of these photos before, but it was showing here. I think it was here. No, oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. But it showed in a photo I was looking at last night that apparently the pineal gland is very much like a pine cone, and these little like kind of lobes on the pine cone, like how a pine cone will kind of open up and then after it dries out, it kind of opens up more. Apparently the pineal gland actually works in the same way, which I didn't realize that before. So I thought that was really fascinating. I always thought like maybe it was just shaped like the pine cone, but I never realized it actually kind of opens up in the same way that pine cones do. And that is really fascinating. So as you can see, that's why pineal glands or pine cones are so often represented in ancient civilizations. Like, here's on the side here on the right, we have the Sumerian, or the one of the seven Kalu, or however, it's the guys with the bags. He's one of the guys with the bags. If you know what I'm talking about, you really know your stuff with ancient aliens. If you don't know what I'm talking about the guys with the bags, you probably think I sound crazy. But there's these seven Apkalus, they're called. I highly recommend looking at Graham Hancock's book Magicians of the Gods. He really gets into this. But there's these seven sages or seven Apkalus. They're in like every ancient monument around the world, or like basically every megalithic structure around the world has carvings of these guys, and they're always holding a bag and a pine cone, and the pine cone represents the pineal gland. And this is on every continent around the world, by the way. So it's pretty fascinating. Over here we have, obviously the Buddha is always represented with a pine cone looking top to his head. Pretty interesting, because obviously the pine cone or the pineal gland is connected with the third eye. We'll get into that later. And this right here is shown again. This is actually the Catholics using it in their iconography. So pretty fascinating. I believe that's at the Vatican there. Also, I will say back in the day when I used to experiment with plant medicines when I was much younger, I noticed this effect at the top here with the back of the pine cone. I don't know why. Like one night, I picked up a pine cone. I was looking at the back of it and how it very much related to the golden spiral, and I was just amazed by it. I was looking at it, I'm like, this means something. I know this means something. I know that sounds really trippy and kind of dumb, but no, it actually, there was something to it. There really is. I mean, it shows it right here. So it's pretty fascinating. I mean, apparently the pineal gland kind of opens up in this way. So, really fascinating. So now, getting back to what I was talking about with this WebMD article, first I want to share what the scientific, health, pharmaceutical, whatever population says about the pineal gland, and then we'll get into the more spiritual side of things and how to decalcify it. But I wanted to share this tonight because like I said last night, I came across it and I was really surprised at how much they actually put in here for it, this being it's WebMD. Obviously, like, they usually want to promote, like, getting pharmaceutical drugs and things like that, which, most of us on here probably don't believe in for the most part. Not to say that pharmaceutical drugs are always bad, but I would say most of the time they probably are. My personal opinion. I'm more of a holistic type. But this is actually really fascinating because they get into in this article some things that I would not have expected for them to admit. So let's get into this first. So, what to know about calcification of the pineal gland? Your brain contains a small pine cone shaped gland called the pineal gland. It's about the size of a grain of rice. However, that size can vary in animals depending on their location. The pineal gland plays the role of controlling your sleep patterns, how you make decisions, and how you perceive reality. The gland produces a hormone called melatonin for these functions. For peak performance in psychological development, the pineal gland must remain healthy. How does the pineal gland work? This tiny gland serves as your body's light meter. It receives light cues from the eyes, causing it to produce melatonin that sends several hormonal messages to the body. The pineal gland transmits information about the length of daylight, a concept known as the circadian rhythm. In other words, it tells the body whether there's light or darkness, the season you're in, and the length of days. Research shows the pineal gland also helps in regulating body temperature. So obviously they don't get into the spiritual side of things with it, which I didn't expect. They don't get into DMT, uh, which I'm sure a lot of people out here may have experimented with. But obviously the pineal gland does secrete DMT upon death and a little bit while you're sleeping at night, I believe. I think it's what causes dreams, from my understanding. So going on here, calcification of the pineal gland. Sometimes the pineal gland develops calcium spots known as calcification. Unlike in most of your brain, the blood-brain barriers don't fully protect the gland from the rest of the body. Instead, it receives a significant amount of blood flow, second only to the kidneys. The gland is also surrounded by and immersed with cerebrospinal fluid. This causes it to camp out in the tiny area behind the pituitary gland. A research study done in the 1990s found high concentrations of fluoride in the pineal glands of study participants. Fluoride from water and pesticides accumulate in the pineal gland more than in any other part of the body. After accumulation, they form crystals, creating a hard shell called calcification. And I just realized I totally meant to pull up an article on this, but I haven't yet before I go on here. But, it doesn't mention this here, but a lot of people are under the impression. So apparently fluoride was actually created by the Nazis and they used it to experiment on people in the concentration camps. Obviously a lot of what they're doing at the concentration camps were experimenting with, these different eugenics methods. And fluoride was known to make these people more docile. Um, so, it's really fascinating. It's like, why would they take that? And then all of a sudden, it's in our water, it's in our toothpaste, it's used everywhere. And it's not good for you. It's really not. So, why are they putting it everywhere? So pretty interesting. I don't ever get fluoride toothpaste. Just a disclaimer there. So, going on here, fluoride from water and pesticides accumulate in the pineal gland more than in any other part of the body. After accumulation, they form crystals, creating a hard shell called calcification. The pineal gland is not the only part of the body that can become calcified. The crystals can also form in the joints, heart valves, and breast tissue. Sometimes calcification impairs the functioning of the affected organ. In the case of pineal calcifications, the gland can become unable to produce melatonin. So if you have problems sleeping at night, this might be something to think about. This might be something that's affecting you. Maybe your pineal gland is calcified. I think for the most part, I think most of the general population probably has a calcified pineal gland. I know a lot of people here are probably listening to that and laughing because it is pretty obvious. I mean, what does it do? It makes you docile. And asleep basically. Obviously that means your third eye is not open, which we'll get into later. So it's pretty obvious that I'd say at least half of our population probably has a calcified pineal gland, which is why I thought it was important to do this show on this topic tonight. So, going on here, causes of pineal calcification. Scientists don't know for sure why calcification of pineal gland happens, but there are a few theories. And obviously, they just mentioned earlier, fluoride is one of the major ones. But aging, as you age, the pineal gland may calcify. However, some studies have found pineal gland calcifications in infants. Because unfortunately, people are giving their infants fluoride water and fluoride toothpaste. It's unfortunate. And this dispels the theory that aging is a contributing factor to pineal calcification. Metabolic activity. Another theory proposes that the more active the pineal gland is metabolically, the higher the likelihood that it will calcify. Chronic conditions. Another theory suggests that if you have certain chronic medical conditions, you have a higher likelihood of developing pineal gland calcification. Calcification of the gland also increases your likelihood of developing chronic conditions such as migraines, Alzheimer's disease, and schizophrenia. Really interesting. So there is a mixed research on the symptoms of pineal gland calcification and whether, in fact, causes any symptoms at all. Some potential signs may include insomnia and migraine attacks. Some research shows that a reduction in the production of melatonin causes older adults to have disruptions in their sleep patterns. For example, they may feel sleeping during the day and stay awake at night. Another study found no relationship between the size of your pineal gland and sleeping problems. The size of the pineal gland usually reduces with age, which is interesting. That means that apparently babies and kids are born with bigger pineal glands and they shrink over time. So that's really interesting. Obviously, being born into the world, you're kind of coming through the Stargate, which is your mother, basically. So it's pretty fascinating. I think also DMT releases in your brain as you're being born as well as when you're dying. So obviously that comes out of the pineal gland. So can you decalcify your pineal gland? You can preserve the health of the pineal gland by preventing its premature calcification. Alternatively, you may be able to rejuvenate the calcified gland through some of the methods listed below. To help promote a healthy pineal gland, avoid excess fluoride. Talk with your doctor and dentist about how much fluoride you need. Make sure you're not getting too much. Tap water and toothpastes are common sources. Dude, you seriously, no one can make me drink tap water. I will seriously refuse to drink tap water if I run out of all the water in my fridge that is like my Essentia water or my fluoride-free water that I look for specifically. That's another one. I need to pull up the brands of fluoride-free water. So we'll get into that later. Because it's actually surprising. Most water, even bottled water, almost all bottled water has fluoride in it. There isn't many that don't. And it's actually every year like they change too, so it's hard to keep up with it. A lot of times like there were like bottled water companies where I was drinking the water from them thinking that they were fluoride free, and then I found out they weren't. So it's pretty horrible. And I think with toothpaste, I think that's something that where it's more concentrated. So I think it's definitely especially important that you get fluoride free toothpaste. And a lot of people say like, oh, there's not fluoride in my toothpaste, then I get cavities more, or my teeth aren't as white. I would say definitely go with charcoal toothpaste. That is much better. I think most people who have tried it would agree with me. It really helps for whitening your teeth and pulling out everything. And I much more prefer it. It just kind of sucks because when you spit, it makes your sink black. That kind of annoys me with it. But I definitely prefer fluoride-free charcoal toothpaste. Definitely the way to go. So going on with this, reduce your exposure to electromagnetic fields. I didn't know this, so this is really fascinating. EMFs. EMFs don't directly contribute to calcification, Well, they probably do. But there is some research that suggests excessive exposure may affect the pineal gland and limit its ability to produce melatonin. Gadgets like cell phones, microwaves, Wi Fi routers, TVs, smart meters, and computer screens are common sources of EMFs. So, I thought those two right there, I just thought that was very interesting that they actually put that in here. Like, this is like the main like health website that, is like kind of the main one online. And I don't really expect like the sort of regular healthcare system to actually have this kind of stuff on there. But I was actually really fascinated that they actually put this on here. I would have thought that they would have hid that. So kind of interesting. So another thing, create an environment that promotes the proper functioning of the pineal gland. Getting high quality sleep every night is crucial for optimal functioning. One factor that affects your sleep quality is blue light. It suppresses the production of melatonin for up to 4 hours. Green light, on the other hand, promotes sleep. As such, minimize your exposure to blue light by getting rid of junk light in your home. It may help to do away with LEDs and replace them with halogen or traditional incandescent bulbs. When you go to sleep, your bedroom should be as dark as possible. So, that's really fascinating. It's like these three things I just mentioned here, these are all things that were brought into our modern world and became very common in the modern world in just, the last few decades or more. Um, and it's like, what? There's obviously, it seems to be some sort of agenda with this. Like, they obviously do not, whoever they is, does not want our pineal glands functioning properly. Why would that be? Why are we being targeted on all sides by these factors that are affecting our pineal glands and how they function and turning them off? So, there's something to that. And I think it's really fascinating. Just when it comes down to the light bulb aspect of this, these LED lights, they're everywhere. These fluorescent light bulbs, they definitely bother me. I can't stand when I go into a store and there's these fluorescent lights all the way across the ceiling going all the way down. Like, it totally through I know it affects me. Like, I can feel it when I go into a store. I actually really can't handle being in stores for very long, like, like grocery store type places for very long because of this. And I don't really think about this with my home. Like, it's like, where do you even get incandescent bulbs these days? It's actually kind of hard to find them. So kind of weird, And then obviously this is also talking about the blue light, like from your phones. If you're looking at your phone all day, like that can mess you up too. So also indirect sun exposure is essential. Your eyes need indirect sunlight exposure to function correctly. Both the sun and darkness activate the functions of the pineal gland. It has a photoreceptor that receives light, causing it to produce melatonin. But remember, don't look at the sun directly. And so obviously what it's saying here, and it barely kind of glances over this, but there's actually a photoreceptor just like how they have in your eyes in the pineal gland. So that's obviously what makes it the third eye. It's pretty fascinating. So, obviously going out in the sun as much as possible is really good. And obviously you don't want to stare straight at the sun unless you're sun gazing, which we'll get into later. But it's definitely very, very important. Okay, so that's what WebMD has to say about that. So we'll get back to that. So I'm just reading the comments here. Okay, so let's see here. So here's like the next article on this that I found very helpful. Okay. So this is spirituality and health. And so this, like, after I read the first article yesterday, I was like, okay, I want to find something else that's just kind of a little better with all this. So 11 ways to decalcify your pineal gland for well-being. And so this kind of gets more into the spiritual side of it. In which I'll delve more into it later on the show, but this is another great general overview. I might say the same things again, but this is from a more spiritual perspective. Spiritual and Health. I think this is Spiritual and Health magazine. This is their site. So, 11 ways to decalcify your pineal gland for well-being. When you decalcify the pineal gland, known as the Third Eye Chakra, you remove calcium phosphate deposits. This can lead not only to better health and well-being, but to higher consciousness. Located in the centermost area of the brain, nestled in between the two hemispheres, lies the magnificent pineal gland, known as the Third Eye Chakra or Ajna Chakra in the Hindu system. This tiny pinecone-shaped endocrine gland, also called the mind's eye, the all-seeing eye, the seat of consciousness, and the gateway to the soul, is the stuff of myth, magic, and legend. It is a stargate or pathway between the physical and metaphysical dimensions. To decalcify the pineal gland is to open and activate the third eye. How the pineal gland functions. The pineal gland produces and secretes melatonin, a serotonin-derived hormone responsible for regulating the body's biorhythms, including our sleep-wake cycles. It also works in congruence with the hypothalamus gland, which directs the body's hunger and thirst, sexual desire, and aging process. But as many wisdom traditions believe, when performing at its ultimate capacity, the pineal gland releases important biochemicals such as dimethyltryptamine, also known as the spirit molecule. DMT is a prime catalyst for higher states of consciousness, intuition, and even possibly the experiences of universal consciousness or enlightenment. A properly functioning pineal gland is synonymous with good health and well-being, while calcification, the buildup of calcium phosphate crystals, and deterioration of the pineal gland could be health hazards. It's important to know how to decalcify the pineal gland. Having a blocked third eye or a calcified pineal gland can wreak havoc on your well-being, from anxiety, depression, pessimism, and a tendency to overanalyze to confusion, delusions, paranoia, and impaired perceptions of reality. It can even be linked to neurological disorders. And so obviously the WebMD article didn't really mention any of this. Just said that that article just said that there was a lot of side effects, but they weren't necessarily agreed upon. But think about this. Like, do you ever, if you're someone who gets a lot of these symptoms all the time, there's probably something not functioning right with your pineal gland. Obviously, the hormones are regulated through many glands in our bodies, and they're all important. But, if you're experiencing anxiety, depression, confusion, delusions, paranoia, and even impaired perceptions of reality, these are all things that could very well be affected by having a calcified pineal gland. Sorry, I lost my place here. Okay, having a block. Okay, so 11 ways to decalcify the pineal gland and activate the third eye. Give processed foods the boot. Foods with additives, preservatives, chemicals, and pesticides are all risk factors for both calcification and premature aging. That goes for GMO foods as well. Always opt for organic, living, plant-based foods. This is something that has been very important to me for a long time. I grew up in the Midwest, and, in the Midwest, people don't really, I don't know if it's just kind of where I'm from, but people don't really seem to care about whether or not their food is organic. I mean, I was raised on, like, McDonald's and soda, and it was awful. Really, like, thinking back to it, because I won't go near McDonald's, or I really don't like to do fast food. I prefer to always eat organic, and I really try not to do GMO foods. And, a lot of people always ask me, like, why, these foods cost more. Like, why should I pay, like, $2 more or $6 more for, a food item when I can just get it cheaper and not organic. And to me, it's like I'd rather pay more on these products now. I'd rather pay more for the organic stuff now than to have to pay tons of money to fix all my health issues later in life because I wasn't eating organic. So that's a good thing to think about. Also, obviously, it helps with the aging process if you are eating all organic food. So definitely something to look into. So another one, ditch the shades. Our eyes need indirect sunlight exposure to function properly. The pineal gland on dissection reveals the presence of a photoreceptor, like the ones our two eyes are equipped with, hence the third eye designation. The pineal gland's photoreceptor is actually activated by light reflected from the retina. So don't be afraid of the sun's brilliance at all costs and don't be fanatic about sunglasses. That's a hard one for me. Being a ginger, gingers actually tend to have like more sensitive eyes, I guess. And I really have a hard time with being sensitive to the sun. Also, I like wearing sunglasses because I don't know, I just feel awesome when I wear cool sunglasses. But, it's good to like really take in sunlight. And I've been actually trying to do that more lately. I do notice a difference. I really do. So in leading into that, try sun gazing. And I'm going to read an article about this later in the show. To venture a step further down the rabbit hole of experimentation, sun gazing is an ancient technique believed to improve health and even induce such states as heightened clairvoyance and the ability to subsist without food or water. But bear in mind that only certain times of day, specific stages of sunrise and sunset are recommended for sun gazing. So don't go staring at the sun at high noon and expect to attain superhuman powers. Embrace darkness. The pineal gland is activated not only by the sun, but also by darkness, complete darkness. So make sure your room is as dark as possible during your dream time. Even the small light of an alarm clock or a cell phone can be disruptive to the production of melatonin, the hormone associated with sleep regulation. This is something that's definitely important to me. It's hard to keep your room dark these days with, I don't know, like my place is very open and bright. And a lot of times I just really wish I could just completely have this like dark, like dungeon that I could go in just to sleep or, when I feel like I need it. And it's interesting that it says here, even a small light, like the tiniest light from an alarm clock or, a night light. A lot of people have night lights. I actually sometimes I have a color changing light in my room at night usually. And I think it's really interesting. I didn't know this. I didn't realize that even the smallest light can cause issues. But it is really interesting because I've noticed times when I've done like different, a lot of like ancient spiritual practices or like kind of priesthood initiations usually had to do with people being locked in a tomb for 3 days. And, obviously that would be complete darkness and that would really, I think, affect your pineal gland in a major way. And I think that's really fascinating. That's something that I actually wouldn't mind trying at some point in my life. I know that sounds crazy, but I really feel that would be really incredible. Float tank, that would be a great thing to do. And I haven't actually tried that yet. I've been meaning to for a long time. I actually really love to do it soon. I should look into that, but I'm sure that would be another one. I've done actually during the summer, I went to this place in Mount Shasta. There's this pyramid and it's kind of like word of mouth, like how to get there. Like you kind of have to know someone to get to it. But there's this pyramid that you can go inside and they lock you in. It's complete darkness. So that was really cool. It's like things like that can really bring on when you are in complete darkness. I feel like that's when visions really set in and your mind can really activate your third eye, your pineal gland. So really fascinating. So crystal work. And so this is kind of how the idea that I got for my photo on the promo for tonight's show. I thought it was kind of funny. But crystal work. Placing a crystal over the third eye while laying down is said to work wonders on activating it. I know that sounds very like new agey woo woo, but apparently crystals with indigo and violet hues are recommended, and the clear quartz will always help to amplify their properties. Some good options include amethyst, lapis lazuli, iolite, moldavite, sodalite, moonstone, and many more. Leave the stone between your eyebrows during meditation for 15 to 30 minutes. I know this sounds kind of crazy if you're not really into the woo woo stuff, but try it sometime. Seriously, try it. And I recommend trying it with quartz and trying it with lapis lazuli. Try it with both of those. Um it's really crazy. And actually I read somewhere that jet is a very interesting stone. I feel energies, like I'm very sensitive to energies, and whenever I pick up jet, that stone just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's really crazy. And I read that if you put jet there, it can actually assist in astral projection. And I don't know, something about it, it helps clear headaches for me. So actually every time I get a headache, I put jet there because I usually have a lot laying around. I just really like the energy of them, and it draws it out. I don't know how. It's really incredible. So I definitely recommend trying this out. Just try it. You might feel kind of woo woo and weird, but it's interesting. It really is. Like if I put quartz there and meditate for like 15, 30 minutes, like it says here, I can feel it like pulsating on my head. I mean, I feel like that area of my head pulsating. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, going on here. Third eye meditation. Drawing your eyes up toward the third eye, softly place your awareness on that center. Next, imagine being able to see out through the third eye between the eyebrows. This concept alone will have you seeing the world in a whole new light. Pretty self-explanatory. Just try it sometime. I don't know about this one. I read this last night and I'm not sure how to pronounce this correctly. Kachari Mudra. This should only be tried under the supervision of an advanced Kriya yoga teacher. Paramahansa Yogananda recommended Kachari Mudra only to a very select group of his disciples. Place the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth all the way to the soft palate. Some yoga gurus teach stretching the tongue further back to touch the uvula and even up into the nasal cavity. Ugh. The aim of this mudra is nothing less than the attainment of deep states of spiritual consciousness that may even reach samadhi, a profound state of deep rest. Again, by itself, without the right attitude, proper technique, devotion, and spiritual attunement, this mudra would amount to little more than a tongue trick. I don't know about that one. I've never heard that before. I guess, I actually kind of, I'm sure a lot of you are trying it out right now, listening to me. I know I did when I read it last night, and I don't think I did it right. I'm sure they probably have YouTube videos explaining how to do it properly. So I don't know. I didn't want to like choke myself or something. So moving on here, try natural remedies. Each of these can decalcify the pineal gland and stimulate it. Go to cola, boron, alfalfa sprouts, parsley, oregano oil, sea moss, neem oil, blue-green algae, spirulina. That's a big one, spirulina. Coconut oil, walnuts, chlorophyll-rich foods, beets, apple cider vinegar, lemon water, MSM, turmeric, ginseng, and bentonite clay. Apple cider vinegar, that one's another major one. One that's not on this list is goji berries. I heard that like when I did a lot of research on this when I first started getting into all this like ages ago, I read that goji berries were really important with this. And it's kind of interesting because goji berries, they are these little like kind of raisin looking things that are actually probably about the size of a pineal gland, and they grow in the middle of the desert. And I feel like anything that grows in the middle of the desert, there's something to it. Like it has to be some sort of powerful thing. So I don't know. I really like eating goji berries. I think that should definitely be something that should be on this list. Cider vinegar, that's very important. I used to make a habit of actually taking a spoonful of it every day. Um, you know, that was just something, when I really got into all this back when I was working as a vitamin specialist at a health food store back in the day as a side job when I first moved out here, was acting and everything. That was something that I noticed had a pretty major effect on me. I mean, I just noticed my dreams became much more lucid when I was doing that every day. It's pretty fascinating. Obviously putting lemon in your water, fluoride-free water, not tap water, and make sure you look at and find the right fluoride-free water. You'd be surprised what waters have fluoride and which ones don't. And it's hard to figure that out too. It really is. They don't normally say it on the ingredients if they have it. So definitely something to look into. Use essential oils. The nose is a direct gateway to the brain and the pineal gland. To stimulate the olfactory passage to spiritual states of awareness, try sandalwood, frankincense, myrrh, clary sage, helichrysum, pine, pink lotus, and mugwort. That's really interesting. I actually wear frankincense and myrrh every day. I have this combination of a roll-on I get at Whole Foods. Whole Foods has like this really great product. I think it's I forget what brand it's called. I think it's like Oracacia, but I could be wrong. And they have these like little mini roll-ons that are like about this big. And there's a frankincense and myrrh like mix, and I just put it on every day, usually around my neck and like the base of my neck and on the sides, and I definitely feel the effects from that, and I just love the smell. I think it's amazing. So personally, I like my skin and just reacts very badly to alcohol, and so I don't like using regular perfumes. I don't like the chemicals in them. So frankincense and myrrh, definitely a good combination. I'll attest to that. All right. Another thing is change your light bulbs. And obviously, we mentioned this earlier, but here they explain it much better, in my opinion. Fluorescent light bulbs are both harmful to health and hard on the eyes. Replace them whenever possible with full spectrum light bulbs, which are more consistent with natural light. Full spectrum lighting is often used to treat seasonal affective disorder and sleep disorders via light boxes that mimic natural sunlight. Not all full spectrum bulbs are the same, however, so do some research on which ones to choose. And lastly, practice Kundalini yoga. Specific movements are designed to raise the Kundalini energy, which rests coiled at the base of the spine. Activating Kundalini usually attunes our bodies to connect the cosmic energy with the physical body and root it to the earth. The serpentine energy flows upward, activating the 33 vertebrae points until it reaches the pineal gland and crown chakra. The same energy illuminates the third eye. Now that you know how to decalcify your pineal gland, you'll be gazing through your third eye in the truth of existence into the universe itself. Or not, whichever you choose. So, that was another really good one. All right, what else do I have here? I'm just going back to look at some of your comments here. Renee here says, myrrh from the Holy Bible. Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I started wearing it. Like, I like the smell, like when I started trying out essential oils and stuff. I've been wearing it for about 6 or 7 years now, actually. But I just really like the smell of it. And then, I was also thinking, like, oh, this is like what the wise men, like, brought to Jesus, supposedly. So that's pretty awesome. Like, there must be something to it. And then I started hearing about all these other properties later. So pretty cool. Apparently they come from this like tree that like emits this like sap out of its roots or something. And that's the only way it's like collected. So definitely interesting. All right. What else do I have here? Okay, so now I want to get into the sixth chakra, or the third eye aspect of this. The last article kind of got into it, obviously, but this is more on the chakra side of it, so you can imagine how this would interconnect. What you need to know about the I'm not sure if this is pronounced Ajna or Ajna. I'm going to say Ajna, but I may not be saying that right. What you need to know about the Ajna chakra. Discover the physical and mental signs of blocked energy in the third eye chakra and how you may benefit from aligning it. According to yoga tradition, the subtle body is where your energy flows. The subtle body has 7 vortexes of energy known as chakras. When energy becomes blocked in a chakra, it triggers physical, mental, or emotional imbalances. That's true of all chakras, including the sixth chakra, called Ajna chakra. The energetic center is located at the third eye between the brows, or in between and just above eye level. Ajna chakra is positioned above the throat chakra, which balances emotion and reason. It sits below the seventh chakra, the Sahasrara. Sorry, I don't know how to say that right. Sahasrara. Okay. Or crown chakra, the center of thoughtfulness, enlightenment, and wisdom. The third eye chakra is associated with higher knowledge, intuition, and what you might think of as your sixth sense. The third eye helps you perceive a cosmic vision beyond the physical world that your eyes can see. It connects you to your intuition and illuminates everything as it is without the filter of your past, your expectations, or your judgment. Ajna chakra is also linked to imagination and visualization. When Ajna is functioning well, you trust your inner wisdom. When it's blocked, you feel closed-minded. Characteristics of the Ajna chakra. Natural element, light. The Ajna chakra is associated with light and illumination. You carry wisdom within you, a light that can brighten your path. When you tap into the Ajna chakra, you have a greater awareness of the world around you, and your eyes are truly open. The chakra's color is indigo, a blue hue associated with wisdom and deep inner knowledge. This chakra's symbol consists of 2 lotus petals, a downward-facing triangle representing enlightenment, and the seed mantra Om in the center. Signs of balanced Ajna energy. When the third eye is in balance, you are able to tune into and trust your intuition and imagination. You see your life with clarity, self-awareness, and emotional balance. You can trust your inner knowledge, which allows you to make balanced decisions. You are open to different perspectives and are able to receive wisdom from beyond the senses of sight, touch, sound, taste, and hearing. Signs of blocked Ajna energy. When the sixth chakra is blocked, you lose your connection with your inner wisdom. You may feel lost or adrift. The imbalance is most likely to present itself physically within the brain and the eyes. You may also feel stuck in the day-to-day without the guidance of your inner wisdom. You may be unable to look beyond immediate problems and your own opinions. When you are thus out of balance, you may have difficulty seeing the bigger picture. You may feel mentally foggy, anxious, or depressed. And what does that sound like to you? That sounds exactly like the side effects of having a calcified pineal gland. So it's very interesting. Misalignment of the third eye chakra can result in physical and mental difficulties. Your mind may constantly feel in overdrive. You may notice the following symptoms: eye strain, headaches, migraines, dizziness, clogged sinuses, hearing issues, memory issues, anxiety, confusion, insomnia, or nightmares. Wow, I've definitely been dealing with a lot of these lately, so I guess I'm going to have to look into this. Must be a reason why this all came to me today. Aligning the Ajna chakra. Many practice support, nurture, and balance Ajna meditation. Sorry, 1 second here. Meditation, mantras, and asana practice can bring your inner eye into balance. An exercise for awakening the sixth chakra. Ajna means command, pronounced as Agaya. Agia. Okay, so that's how I pronounce it. I've been saying that wrong. Sorry about that, you guys. Agia. This that's so weird. Agia. I don't know if that's Agia or Agia. I don't know. Maybe it's Agia. Someone knows, comment it. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the comments right now. This chakra is often used as a focal point in the meditation practices. Here is one you can try. Sit comfortably and concentrate on your breathing. When you're with your eyes closed, turn your focus to the space between your eyebrows. Invite the wisdom of your third eye to light the way. Bring your hands in the prayer position and begin rubbing them together vigorously. Once you have created some heat between your palms, cup them over your eyes and let the heat soften any tension in or around the eyes. Poses to balance the third eye chakra. Several asana poses are especially good for bringing balance to Ajna chakra. So, I don't really know much about these poses, so I'll just go through them. Balasana, dolphin pose, and eagle pose. So I guess you can look into that yourself. Mantras to balance Agya chakra. I trust my inner wisdom. My intuition guides me on the right path. I feel balanced and aware. So the benefits of this. When you balance the third eye chakra, you will have greater clarity of thought. You trust your intuition and are able to clearly see events in your life and the lessons they present to you. You will gain the ability to see the subtle energy that makes and connects all objects in the universe. As you work to open the Agya chakra, you can begin to see things as they actually are without the projection and color of ego. From here, you can begin to move toward the things you value in life more efficiently. So that was very nice and positive. Someone said I talk like I smoked a pound of bud. Believe it or not, I actually stopped smoking weed a long time ago. I don't do that. I may have done it quite a bit at one point, but that is very much in the past now. I don't know why I sound like that. I am a little tired today, I'm not gonna lie. So maybe that's it. All right, so what else do I have here? I hope you're all enjoying this. Let me see. Matthew says Apolla is just super chill. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm definitely a very chill person. Definitely, that is true. Okay, we're gonna end this with just 8 supplements to boost your pineal gland. So these might not have been mentioned before. And then I'll go ahead and wrap this up here because I have something like stuck in my throat, I guess. I can't stop coughing. So I'll just go through these. Melatonin, obviously, that is good to overcome jet lag. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have known that 2 weeks ago. Oregano oil and neem extract. Oh yeah, those are definitely both something that I recommend taking like every day. So both oregano oil and neem extract help in the purification process, helping to remove existing calcification within the gland, in addition to purifying the body's systems and especially the endocrine system. Neem has been used in this way in India for thousands of years. In the Western world, oregano oil is also becoming a holistic way of fortifying the immune support system. In the longer term, both of these supplements will act as a natural antibiotic against new calcium shells created by nanobacteria. Whoa, interesting. Okay, so number 3 is raw cacao. This must be why there's a lot of cacao ceremonies these days, especially out here in California. Out here in LA, I get invited to them all the time. Raw organic chocolate is the purest in its purest form can help detoxify the pineal gland because of cacao's high antioxidant content. Cacao will also help stimulate the third eye. Number 4, chlorophyll-rich superfoods. Supplements like spirulina, chlorella, wheatgrass, and blue-green algae are examples of chlorophyll-rich superfoods that offer similar benefits to eating leafy greens, but with much more nutrition packed in a small serving. These supplements assist in decalcification of the pineal gland due to their strong detoxification properties. I actually had for a while I had a chlorophyll dropper and I would take some every day. It doesn't taste very good, but it is very good for you. Spirulina, if you get the powder, that's really good for putting into superfood shakes. Usually if you put a lot of bananas and raspberries and things like that in there, maybe some chocolate, you don't really taste it as much. It doesn't really have that like super herby taste. So I definitely recommend that. Number 5, apple cider vinegar. Obviously, I talked about that earlier. A natural detoxifier, raw apple cider vinegar helps decalcify the pineal gland due to its malic acid properties. Malic acid is an organic compound that gives fruits their sour taste. When taken as a supplement, I didn't know that. That's crazy. You learn something new every day. When taken as a supplement, it supports the digestive system and helps the body detoxify. Apple cider vinegar has many health benefits, many of which are listed here, and ensure that the brand, the brand you buy is raw and packaged in a glass container. So apparently that's important. And of course, the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, organic, raw, unfiltrated, or unflavored. That's the best one. That's the one I always get. I think most people prefer that brand. Number 6, iodine. So this wasn't mentioned in the other article. This is something that I remember when I used to watch InfoWars all the time. They always promoted this back in the day when I used to watch it very regularly. But they always talk about it. I don't know why. It's just forever burned into my brain from watching InfoWars, like iodine and how it keeps your telomeres from fraying or something. But also, I think it's good against radiation. It's good to have for that. But it says here, many of us have been exposed to sodium fluoride due to fluoridation of our water systems, and it has also resulted in decalcification of the pineal gland. Iodine, naturally occurring in plants such as seaweed, effectively improves the removal of sodium fluoride via urine. Wow. I didn't realize it did that. That's so cool. Unfortunately, the Western diet has left us deficient of this vital mineral. And again, with the agendas. Why would that be? So apparently, as I always learned from the Alex Jones show, it was taken out of the salt that is sold at all the stores. And it's something that would naturally be in salts and things like that. So it's kind of weird. It's another thing that it's like, what's up with these agendas of in modern day society of not, all these things seem to be coming together to ensure that our pineal glands are not functioning properly. Why is that? There's something to that. Definitely. So the Western diet has left us deficient of this vital mineral while our bodies need it most. To avoid calcium deficiency when taking iodine supplements, a diet incorporating many organic foods such as kale, broccoli, almonds, oranges, flax seeds, sesame seeds, dill, thyme, and other dried herbs is recommended. It's suggested that a non-GMO lecithin supplement is also taken to complement iodine intake. So definitely probably want to be careful with that. Looks like you need to make sure you have those things balanced properly. Number 7, organic blue ice skatefish oil and activator X. If you'd like to take a natural supplement to decalcify your pineal gland, organic blue ice skatefish oil may be one of the most powerful options out there. I didn't know this. This oil contains activator X, a detoxifier discovered by Weston Price that combines vitamins K1 and K2, which allows for the body to remove calcium from various locations throughout the body, such as the pineal gland and the arteries. Instead of eliminating the excess calcium as iodine does, Activator X places it in areas where calcium is needed most, such as bones and teeth. It has been reported to reverse damage done by calcification, which results in diseases such as sclerosis and osteoporosis. It also helps reverse tooth decay. Whoa, that's crazy. It is suggested that Activator X supplements are to be taken with vitamin A and D3. Wow. So apparently they really highly recommend that one. So I'm going to have to check that out. I haven't heard of that before. Boron and borax. Another good supplement that can be used to remove fluoride from the human body is the mineral boron. It is naturally present in beets, which can be eaten raw, steamed, cooked, as well as in a powder supplement. It is also present in other foods such as dried plums. Borax is an inexpensive source of boron that can be bought in most grocery stores. I thought that was like a white powder thing. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I would want to just eat that. I definitely like beets though, so I'll eat more beets. Beet salad is really good. It's something I've been kind of addicted to lately. What else can boost your pineal gland function? In addition to the supplements listed above, there are many foods that can help decalcify and improve the function of the pineal gland. While detoxifying other parts of the body, these include cilantro, tamarind, goji berries. Remember I mentioned goji berries earlier? Here they're mentioning it. There's something about, these little things that grow in the desert. I feel like if something grows in the desert, it must be very powerful. So I think eating goji berries is definitely something that is pretty crazy. I mean, there isn't much that grows in the middle of a desert like that, so there's got to be something to those. Watermelon, bananas, honey, coconut oil, hemp seeds, seaweed, noni juice, garlic, chaga mushroom, raw lemon juice. Obviously, lemon juice, that's a major one. And that's why it's good to always put lemon juice in your water. That's something I kind of forget about. Like some people really make a habit of it. That's definitely something that's good to do. Pineal gland decalcification can also be gained by eating more alkaline foods. See a list of such foods here. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this tonight. I'm sorry I haven't really been looking at your discussion as much on the side here because I'm just been reading all these articles. Like I said, I'm gonna be on UFO Girls show Sunday, so I'm really excited about that. And before you go, please stay tuned. I'm going to be actually doing a conference on Monday, a live conference online. It's only online. I'm just gonna be streaming into it. So it's called Humanity Unplugged. They're featuring 111 speakers, and it will be on Humanity Unplugged on YouTube. That's the best way to find it. And again, I have that up on the event page of my website, apollaasteria.com. Not to be mixed up with my art site, which I will promote again in a second here. But this is going to be a really interesting thing. I actually just kind of brought into it randomly when I was at the Conscious Life Expo. I met Joan of Angels, and she had me come in. So there I am right there, and I'll be giving my usual Solutions for Humanity presentation. But obviously I'll be doing it a little differently because I'm not used to doing it like live, via StreamYard. So it'll be different. I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about it exactly yet, but I'm going to be tuning in on Monday at 11:35 a.m. Pacific time to give my presentation. But there's going to be 111 speakers speaking throughout the whole weekend, I believe. I don't know if it's just one day. I think it's a few days. Oh yeah, it's the 12th through the 22nd. So I'll be right at the beginning of it. And there's going to be people going all day, every day. Oh wow, I didn't even know my homie Brad's going to be in it. I had no idea. That's crazy. Oh yeah. Wow, I didn't even look at the list, honestly. Geraldine, we got The Lessons, Brad Olson, Joan of Angels. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool people at this one. So definitely recommend tuning into it. If you're bored, it's free. You just tune in online on YouTube. Oh, Dr. Samar Osman Nago. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name very well, but he is a very interesting person. I mean, he is always exploring the Bosnia pyramids. He's usually going live from there. I've seen his presentation at conferences before, and it's definitely not something you want to miss. Carolyn Corey. Yeah, lots of awesome people on here. I didn't even really look through this list. I am blown away by this. So this is going to be fun. A lot of people I don't know too. So that's really cool. Again, this is Humanity Unplugged, and that's on the event page of my website, apollaasteria.com. So if you want to check that out, you can just, again, I messed something up when I was fixing my site last night. For some reason, there's a huge blank space before you get to the header or the navigation bar on my site. I don't know how, I need to fix that tonight. I don't know what I did to mess that up. So just make sure you scroll down. You'll find it eventually. Okay. And then also, please be sure again to, oh, and thanks for the super chat, whoever put that. Sylvan Forge, thank you so much. I've been getting a lot of super chats lately. I really appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. And if you want to help me out, you know, this is pretty much all I do in regards to funding my show is my spears. So definitely in my art. Sorry, let me find this here. So definitely go check out my shaman spears, and that is at shamanspears.com. Shamanspears.com. And my spears are uniquely handcrafted energy channeling devices for channeling energy. I never make anything the same. They're super fun. They range from one size to tall staff size. They're painted with crop circles that have been found around the world. And they make great gifts. I ship out next day shipping. I have a really great shipping system. So if you order one, I will ship it out the very next day. So I have a few collections on here right now available. Not much left in all the collections, actually. So I should probably start making some new ones pretty soon here. And also, like I said at the beginning, please do not forget to purchase tickets to the Mount Shasta Summer Conference. I have 3 tickets that I have to sell on my website here. And that's what's going to fund me going up north and presenting my work, you know, and bringing my spears there. So if you want to come check out this event, please purchase your tickets from me. You can get off the site too, but I had to sell these tickets, and I believe I'm actually selling them for a little bit cheaper than they are on the site now, I think. So make sure you come here and get my tickets here on shamanspears.com. I have 3 Mount Shasta Summer Conference tickets to sell. So I need to sell 3 of those. If you purchase one, I will give your name and email to the event coordinator, and you'll be emailed a confirmation. So very much would appreciate if you can do that. And again, if you missed the beginning of the show, there's some incredible speakers at it, including myself and Laura Eisenhower. Oh, sorry. Brad Olson, Ben Chastain, Eric Dadmere, Sam Kaiwas, lots of my homies that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be really good. So definitely not going to want to miss that one. Again, we have guided meditations, vibration raising mantras, sound healing, actual videos of many encounters, messages from different ET groups, musical guests, pyramids, Tesla coils, vendors, lake swim, evening sky watch, and workshops. So it's going to be a really good time. And I actually really regretted that I didn't make it out to this event last year. Everyone was telling me it was like the thing to be at. I mean, it looked like they had a really great time last year, and I was jealous I missed out on it. So I'm excited to do that this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely join us. And again, come right here to shamanspears.com if you want to purchase a ticket. I have lots of other Organite EMF actually canceling materials here that I created myself, pyramids and bracelets and Organite daggers. And these are actually really great for blocking EMF frequencies, which after listening to my show tonight is good for decalcifying your pineal gland. So make sure you check those out. Again, that's all on shamanspears.com. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. I very much appreciate it. It was a really fun show. I always like to come on here and chat with you all. And in the coming weeks here, I plan on interviewing some of the people that will be at the conference, the Mount Shasta conference coming up. So, really excited about that. I have a lot of projects in the works too. Um, so hopefully, as long as I can focus on them, then maybe I'll be able to present them to you pretty soon here. So stay tuned for that. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining me. And until next time on Apollo's Odyssey, over and out.